I think one of the things that's important for people to remember is that road trauma is the biggest killer of young Australians aged between 1 and 14. It's second only to youth suicide in that next sector from 14 to 25. So what's really important, I think, is that we have a greater level of awareness around road risk, and also, more importantly, better prepare that next generation for life on the road. So what we've really done with RoadSet is provide real-world, really indicative road safety solutions, something that's really immersive that kids can use right now. And I think when we look at how people traditionally get a licence, there's often a little bit of road safety grounding right at the start of their education career, maybe at preschool. And then there's very little up until the point they get to year 11 or 12. So what we're aiming to do with RoadSet is to provide some really critical education milestones to help people be better prepared as road users in general. So again, whether they're a pedestrian, they're on a scooter or a bike, or even as a passenger, or even before they start to drive, it's giving them those fundamental skills that are going to make them better prepared for when they finally do get behind the wheel. As I mentioned, RoadSet is available as a free resource. It's something we've been working very closely with the Australian Federal Government on to provide not only the online application but also the resources to each of the schools and to the teachers as well, to really make it very easy, very simple to use. And as I said, it's something that people can use right now. It's something that we want to try and do to, I guess, improve the road safety outcomes as we start to head into this Christmas break. Clearly 2020 has been a very different year, and certainly as Christmas comes we're going to see probably more people using other forms of transport, more people on foot, more people using scooters or more people on bikes, and certainly seeing more people drive around Australia as part of the holiday break. So it's really essential that we maximise the time before the end of the year and also prepare that next generation for life on the road. Of course, RoadSet is something that is going to be continue to be available into 2021. So if schools can't get into this year's curriculum, it's certainly something that could be part of the 2021 school year. What we're really aiming to do, I guess, is to get kids more prepared for general road use, and that really revolves around situational awareness and also making the right choices. So essentially it's about those higher order skills. How do you view traffic? What are the potential risks? How can I be a safer person? And how can I maybe help my friends to be safer as well? When we were starting to design this process, we really did start to look at the education gaps in terms of someone getting their road safety training. And we do get a little bit of that safety around pedestrian crossings, certainly when somebody's very young, but there's a real compression around learning for a year 11 and 12, not only with their schoolwork, but also with the things they need to be behind the wheel. And I've often looked at sport as an example, that we can teach fundamentals at a very early age, but those fundamentals remain with that person, whether that's music or sport or any sort of other skill. But we historically have not done that with road safety. So it's very much about providing age-appropriate learning milestones and a staged approach to help people become better prepared for when they're actually behind the wheel. The key to what we're trying to achieve with this is maximum reach nationally. So definitely the digital platform is certainly something that kids can relate to. In fact, when we were doing our initial development of the program, we were assessing that cohort for what things would be of greater interest to them, and certainly the ease and the access of the online tool is certainly a high priority. I think the other thing too is this is always a journey. So whilst we're starting with the online tool, our long-term view is to then have that complement any other practical training that might then flow on to other learning outcomes as well. There's no doubt that from the moment a young person is facing forward, they're observing parental behaviour, and they're also observing what's happening on the roads around them. So we're also, part of this process, I guess, is to look at how do we start to change the cultural norms and the perceptions that people have around road safety and road use in general, and what's more of an acceptable outcome or an acceptable way of doing things. So without a doubt, we're also aiming that, I guess, through the school avenue, having greater reach by having cohorts share that message to then take it to their parents, to take it to their community, and ultimately it's these series of 1 degree shifts that we do that will ultimately make the big difference. Yeah, kids are great coaches for parents, so quite often they'll be the ones. In fact, if we go right back to the very start of road safety training or road safety messaging with the introduction of seatbelts, children were used in very much for that introduction in the 1970s to help influence parental behaviour. So I think we need to always remember there are little eyes watching us and watching everything we do, and certainly they can have a big influence, just as we can have an influence on them as well.